Hey all, it's me again. This is just kind of like a supplemental to the Synergy X Hitch System. In the sense that there's just a few tips for people that find their way to this because they're interested in lightweight packable systems. An interesting thing I found is that the New England Dyna-Glide, okay, the throw line, New England Dyna-Glide, is actually a hollow braid, okay? Now most people don't think of, throw line construction. This stuff is unbelievable. I mean, it's stronger than a lot of accessory, much larger diameter accessory cords. But yes, it's the New England Dyna-Glide is a hollow braid, a spliceable hollow braid. That means you can do brummels, you can do berries, and all the types of splicing you do with hollow braid. Now here, what I'm doing, this is my Camp Turbo foot ascender, okay, right? Some people complain that there isn't a lock on it. Well, that's understandable, but of course they have this multi-function hole which allows it to be used as an up haul and progress capture, and also to lock the carabiner, lock the foot ascender or punt on the rope with a carabiner. Well, I have carabiners, and I sometimes it never seems like you have enough of them, so I try to keep the carabiners I have freed up for other things. And also, I don't, to risk dropping a carabiner sometimes is to get yourself in a bad position. So what I did here is I spliced on one of these little clips that I got from Unicorn Stainless. It's a small spring gate carabiner-ish type thing with an eye. And I can just put that on here and then take it off, snap it in to this hole, and I'm locked on the rope. Doing this with one hand is a little, and I'm going to have to be able to do it with one hand. There, okay, when I get better at it, okay, that's the whole thing. This is my very first punt, my very first tooth foot ascender of my own, and I'm very happy with it. You see that'll keep the rope from kicking out. Okay, so when I'm climbing and I want to make sure the rope doesn't kick out on me, I can put that in there. And then when I'm not using it, I just take this out, and I don't have to worry about dropping it. Okay, so that's one application. Another application for the Dyna-Glide hollow braid is these climbing lined ends, so you can just sheet bend your throw line on there, and it's just real handy, and it'll pull up through, and when you're setting the rope, it'll pull up through there so much nicer than anything that I can think of. But now too, people have to understand what I did here is I took I have a spare tip for my soldering iron. I do electronics too, so I have a heat controlled, a nice soldering iron, and I have an old tip that I use for plastic welding that I used here to melt 2 notches in the end of the rope, and then I punch it through this way and punch it through the other way, melt the ends, pull it out, till those ends seat, and then put a dab of super glue on each one and whip it. Okay, so there's another application for the New England Dyna-Glide hollow braid. Now, splicing the hollow braid, I found the best fid. Okay, you don't think about a fid for something as small, like thin diameter as New England Dyna-Glide throw line, but it is a hollow braid, and I found I had one of these small sail maker, you know, it's listed as the small sail maker's needle on treestuff.com. You can probably find, you know, a needle about this size that will work well also. Any, you know, in a place you might even have one. Okay, but that's pretty much what you need is a small sailmaker's needle, which is actually quite a large needle, you know, as needles go. But it makes an excellent fit. You know, you can think of other applications for this. Like I said, you can think about this stuff like spliceable accessory cord. Okay, you know, I like the New England Dyna-Glide. It's a Dyneema. Okay, and it's a very, very strong and a miracle of material science, as are a lot of the fibers in modern ropes today. You know, there's a lot of good stuff available, and I think, you know, with a little inventive implementation of some of these things, you know, rigs can be trimmed down to packable and still have the kind of function that some of these heavier systems have. Anyways, I just wanted to say thanks to Camp Turbo for the wonderful punt footer sender. It's really, I like this because it tails right off the ground. It self-tails. And there's my lock. I have no complaints. Well, like I said, this is a good one. The soldering iron trick, you can use a cheap 15 to 25 watt, you know, generic soldering iron and get the same effect. You're just basically melting in just a couple of recesses just to streamline this, so that when you sheet bend on and you pull this up with your throw line, it just glides right through there, you know. And that's really a big plus to have on either end of the line. You know, you get one on both ends of your climbing line, and you start to realize that, you know, it's pretty handy. Anyways, that's it on the, you know, the hollow, you know, calling attention to the fact that New England Dyna-Glide is a very strong hollow braid that can be used as an accessory type cordage. Okay, thank you, bye.